So to honor the new year, to honor the end of 2023,
to honor the past year,
our top 5 this week is going to be the top 5 things of 2023. We thought about doing top 5 Christmas things, but the last 2 ones have been Christmas themed.
They kind of exhausted what we think of Christmas.
I think so too, and
like
being
encapsulated all of Christmas, I should say.
And I think the best of 2023 on our last podcast of 2023 was too good to pass up for a top 5.
Especially the first end. The only first end we'll have of our first year. So
exactly.
It's pretty exciting.
So I'm excited about this. This was a very broad category. You could go a lot of different ways.
Yeah, you could go
good things, you could go bad things. It's really just top. So I mean, like,
whatever you perceive is like it could be just funny to you or whatever. You know, I texted you some heinous shit that I'm not going to include in this list, but worthwhile to talk about.
It is.
Just not here.
And then I think I have the first pick though, right?
You do, because I had last week.
I thought long and hard about this.
Long and hard?
Long and hard pause. Long and hard about this.
Phrasing.
It took me a while. I had a list where I had a lot of good things, but it was hard for me to narrow it down to my number one thing.
So what'd you do? You just left that list at work?
I did leave that list at work, but I knew most of these. And I think this is the thing that when we look back in 5 years is going to be like the thing of 2023. I think it's a thing that, although it's controversial, it brings 2 totally different kinds of people like it for their own different ways. The number one thing of 2023 was the Donald Trump mugshot.
Dude, that is a high-class pick for the exact reasons. Like, the simplest of terms is everybody likes it for their own reason. If you love Donald Trump, you think it's hilarious.
If you're an idiot on the left, you think we finally got him. If you're an idiot on the right, you think this dude's my savior.
Right. He's like, oh, the felon's going to be the president now. The inmates are going to run the asylum.
So no matter how you think of him, and then if you're in the middle, you think it's just fucking funny because it is funny.
Yeah, because like
if you can look at it objectively.
Think about Donald Trump objectively.
Very funny.
He's a business magnate who became president.
Who just gives the best quotes, funniest quotes of all time.
Yeah, and calls you ugly.
Yeah, it just says exactly what
you're ugly.
A 12-year-old boy would think.
Right.
And it's
no
awesome.
filter. And it's awesome.
And he's a billionaire.
It's great. Yeah, no, that is a great
Trump
pick.
mugshot, I think that was the most iconic thing to happen in the year. I think it was the biggest thing to happen in the year. So that's my number one pick.
I think that's a very, very good pick. I'm going to counter that with the Sphere.
Oh, I didn't have that one on my list, but I like it.
The Sphere, I believe you took that number 1 overall in a previous draft this year. I've been thinking about it more often than not lately. It's one of those things where I just feel like I need to go. I need to kind of experience what the Sphere is. But looking at it on social media is just amazing. I think it has been one of the biggest hype things of 2023.
It was awesome.
And it's one of the biggest like pull-offs of 2023. You know, it's not a bust. It's a get.
It was honestly a story of a positive story that we don't have a lot nowadays.
Right. We got to get positivity now and again.
It was just you don't even say wholesome, but it was just like, no, this thing's fucking awesome.
Right. Like,
there's nothing bad about it.
And they're willing to do cool things with it.
There's nothing controversial about it. The thing's just awesome.
Yeah, they changed it to like the eyeball emoji. Like they've done interesting stuff. It's cool on the outside. It's cool on the inside.
Much like my first pick can be perceived as controversial.
Right.
Your second pick is the exact opposite. There's no way the Sphere is controversial. It's just fucking awesome.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. My second pick. This isn't the first time we've been introduced to this person. You know, we've known about this person for a very long time.
Ooh, I'm interested now.
But this person has given football new success, otherwise unheard of success that we just...
If you're about to do what I think you're about to do, I'm going to be pissed off.
It's just unbridled that this relationship has caused this success in the NFL. It's just caused a lot of hype.
It's not what I was picking, but go ahead.
I go with Taylor Swift.
Okay.
For my number 2 pick for top things of 2023. Taylor Swift, she wasn't gone before, but she started the Eras Tour in 2023. big tour.
I mean, she made like $1 billion in profit.
She's just
Literally
going crazy. Tickets are off the charts. She's in a relationship with Travis Kelce. So guys like us, which wouldn't normally care about her concert, she's being shoved down our throats. And I don't hate it. Turns out I kind of like her music sometimes.
Yeah, she has some bangers.
So Taylor Swift, number 2 thing, in my opinion, of 2023.
It's not a bad pick. I just don't know if that's you, bro.
Maybe not, but I'm
Are
going
you
for
pandering?
going for clicks, maybe.
So your number 2 is Taylor Swift?
Well, let me say it better. I'm going for clicks, baby.
My number 2 is...
Sorry, that's awkward.
You said it was somebody that brought a whole new like set of eyeballs and attention to football. Correct? With your
Yes,
Taylor Swift pick?
I said something around
My
those
number
terms.
2 pick did the same thing, but a different kind of football. My number 2 pick is
no.
Lionel Messi coming to the MLS. Biggest and best soccer player in the world. He's going to go down as arguably the best player of all time. Just coming off of a World Cup win finally with Argentina. He moves to the U.S., to the MLS, instantly goes on like an incredible run where he's scoring in every game. I mean, it was awesome to see. It was good to see a guy still show he's awesome, like still great.
Dude, he went on that crazy
There's
scoring
like 10
run.
games, yeah.
If you could have gotten in on it at the beginning, was the only way that you could have made any money on it, because like 2 games in, he was minus like 235
Well,
to
2
score.
games in, it was like, oh, he's still way better than these dudes.
But I don't have perception like that because I've never followed football like you
No,
have.
he's
in that
literally
sense.
like
But you told me
one
that
of the best
when,
players of all time.
when the great,
It'd be like a
European
Michael Jordan level
players
player.
retire, they come, not all of them, but a lot of them come to the MLS and they're still just amazing. So I thought that was just going to be the case just purely because you told it to me. And then it happened and I was like, oh, cool. So I wasn't nearly as like, wow, as everybody else was, but I get it now after like
There was
seeing
a time for about
seeing it.
5 to 6 weeks where it was like the top story every time they played.
No, it was like sold out, like because prior to him coming, you could get Miami tickets for like $47.
Yeah, that was the
like,
big thing that kept going around. It was like $47 to like $4,500.
It was just
like,
nuts. It was
good
like,
Lord.
whoa. But then you get to see one of the greats, so it's awesome.
Yeah, so my number 2, Lionel Messi coming to America, coming to the MLS. Now I got my number 3.
How are you gonna go though?
This is another one.
Are you going personal this draft? Like, what are you thinking? Because I got a couple personal picks.
I mean, you just got to see what I'm about to pick, bro.
That's true. Let's go.
My number 3 was there was a period, it was probably about 2 weeks, where this was by far the biggest thing anybody talked about. Everybody was talking about it.
It's right here on my list. I think I know what you're
My number 3 is the submarine incident.
Oh,
the
no.
submarine meme. That whole thing into one. That captivated the internet and everybody's attention forever.
It really did.
It had people like cheering that a dude was dying, or a group of people were dying just because they were rich, which was nuts to see.
They were cheering for it. So then they had like the small curve that was just, being like, you got to save them. Little did we know they had been dead for like a week.
I mean, really, if you think about it, yeah, it was like right away they died, and then the search went on for like a week.
But like,
But
you
that
come to find
captivated-
out, like, who the director, like Christopher Nolan, had word like
was
7
James
hours.
Cameron.
James Cameron, that's what it was. Like several hours after they went uncommunicated.
I mean, it was crazy. On the news, they would have like a countdown, like how much oxygen they have
Dude, it
left.
was wild.
It captivated. Everybody was talking about it, whether you were like, fuck those dudes, or like, we need to save them.
No, you're absolutely
It was
right.
crazy. Everybody talked about it. Everybody had an opinion on it. So my number 3 is the submarine incident, the submarine meme of 2023.
Yeah, we're going to figure out a way to word that. Maybe the Titanic incident of 2023?
Yeah,
Titanic 2023?
Sub has to be in it. Submarine.
Yeah,
But yeah. That's my number 3. What's your number 3?
My number 3, that's a very good number 3. I'm kind of torn, but man, honestly, when you bring up the Titanic incident that kind of captivated the world, it makes me think about the aliens in
UFOs
Mexican
in mind.
Congress. When the kind of hoaxists captivated the world for their own 2 weeks because they declassified.
That dude looked like a Twix.
Right. It was ridiculous. I like it was
so
the fakest
skinny.
ass alien on the planet. So I got to go with that for my number 3.
It's not a bad pick. I don't know if it's a number 3 thing, but
But it's silly and funny. I mean, I can redeem myself with the number 4 if I have to. That's fine. But the aliens in the Mexican Congress, to me, is just like it's
honestly,
obviously
that's a bad
some
look for
clay.
Mexico. It's like you got these people in Congress, but their counter is we let some dude just get railed in the Senate. So
Yeah, I guess
fair play. I'd rather have fake aliens.
Backshots 2023 is a big thing. Yeah, look,
My number 3 pick, Backshot. Just joking.
that's terrible. Look, so I have a few things on my list, a few things I could go with here.
For your number 4?
For my number 4, I think I'm going to go with something a little bit more real here, a little bit more good for me and you. I think 2023 was a big year for comedy for you and I. I'm going to put comedy on my list as a top thing for 2023. That's a more personal pick, but we attended a few comedy shows. We had some good fun. We had some things we don't even remember. It's great. Comedy is a top thing, in my opinion, for 2023. Shows we saw. It's a great thing.
Comedy's not a bad pick, although I think it's a little too personal. You know what
A
I
little
mean?
too personal.
Yeah.
Oh, well. So
I
what do you have for 4?
My 4th pick, this was a hard one, but I'm going to go The Rise. I know it's been around before this year, but this is the big year of it.
The Rise of Skywalker?
No, the rise of AI/ChatGPT.
Man.
AI took a huge leap forward this year. It is now something everybody is familiar with. Like, no matter how young, no matter how old, everybody's familiar with AI. Everybody's aware of AI.
It's definitely a common term.
And I feel like this year is the year that it came to prominence. It's a common term that's going to be pretty much around forever now. I think any reasonable person can conclude to.
Yeah,
it's not going away.
And it's only going to keep growing.
Exactly.
Hopefully it's a beneficial tool.
It's a manageable thing.
Right. What about that 5th and final?
My 5th and final, it's hard to narrow it down. Because I do have a personal one.
I got straight fire for my 5th
I do have some MMA ones.
I don't have any MMA. One of my favorite fighters lost in 2023, so I don't even... It was a great knockout, but I don't want to consider it a top thing because I hate it.
I'm going to round it out with number 5 pick of 2023, Jayden Daniels winning the Heisman for LSU. My favorite football team, my favorite team in general.
So that's a disconnected personal. I got it.
3rd Heisman winner in school history and one of the most storied football programs.
That's crazy to me that they've only won 3 in history with how kind of notorious, at least in my perception, LSU has been as a good football program. And 2 of the 3 have been in like the past 5 years.
Few years, yeah.
That's
Alabama
wild.
has like 5, but the first one was in 2011.
That's even crazier.
Yeah.
But have they been also good for kind of forever?
They have a way better history than LSU does.
Wow. All right.
But yeah, so Jayden Daniels winning the Heisman, it was a big deal. I think the Heisman's a big deal, big time award, big prestige.
I like that.
That's my number 5 pick.
I like the Jayden Daniels Heisman. It's kind of a surprise because coming into the season he didn't really have not a shot, but like he was
like a
top,
dark horse to do it.
Right. He wasn't a top.
He was like
3.
a top 20.
Right. He was a dark horse. That's a very good way to say it. If you put some money on him preseason, you'd have been
like plus 3,500 or something.
Yeah, you'd have been paid out here. That would have been great. I don't have the patience for those kind of bets, but so I guess my last pick and the 5th pick for the overall draft. I've been toying with a couple things. I don't know exactly how I want to go with it just yet, but 2023 was good, right? It had, of course, every year has the highs and the lows. They had the Joe Biden dog bites where you couldn't.
I thought about that, but the only thing was they started before 2023.
Right. This was kind of the final straw. Right.
You
want to offer up any honorable mentions before I make my final pick? I'm
No,
not
I don't.
stealing. I kind of think I have my narrow
I want to
down.
hear your last pick.
I think it's something that in 2023 us guys couldn't stop thinking about. You know, it's a very common, you know, year-long captivating thing, if not a few months-long captivating thing. The Roman Empire.
Oh, I still love the Roman Empire.
Right? Thinking about it, you know, just Maddie, even the memes, they still hit.
They still do hit. I watched Roman Empire shit today.
What'd you watch?
Or yesterday. It was the Spartacus battle, the one
Ooh.
that Joe Rogan and Shane.
See, I
Gillis
watched
were
the clips
talking
of that on YouTube yesterday. That's a good one. So yeah, I think, you know, just us guys sitting around thinking about the Roman Empire naturally, just that was a big thing
were
in 2023. That kind of proved that, you know, you got to just let guys be guys.
I agree. I think it's something that a lot of people could relate to. Because you just think sometimes, like, man, they did all that shit, and they didn't have shit. They didn't have electricity.
Yeah, like, dude, they had some boats and
they
some
were
swords.
just that smart, and they figured shit out.
Yeah,
It's
that's
insane.
it.
It is insane.
It is.
I love that. That's a great pick. So I had a couple honorable mentions. I had the Kevin James meme.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a very good one.
And then I had two UFC ones. I had Volk getting KO'd, which was just surprising to see. And then I had Sean Strickland beating Adesanya.
Yeah,
Equally as surprising.
absolutely. I had Ozempic.
That's a good one.
That's another.
And guess what? They're finding out now it's bad for you. It's like, yeah, no
Right.
shit.
Yeah, 2024 is going to be the year of just gaining weight, I guess. The comedy mothership. That's a big one for 2023.
Thought about that one too.
Twitter changing their name to X.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Right.
That's a good one.
I went to the Book of Mormon. That was a pretty sick play.
Dude, somebody else said that. I
Recently, it was on a podcast.
think it was Shane Gillis.
Something. Yeah, it was Shane Gillis on the one-on-one. Barbenheimer.
Oh, I forgot about. I had Barbenheimer on my original list that I left at work.
High Noons.
I mean, they were around before that.
Right. I didn't mention it until now.
That's just like.
I just like
beer,
High Noons. I just
beer.
like High Noons.
I get it.
I had a kid in 2023, and
Yeah, way to drop that in there.
yeah, just honorable mention. Shout out Logan, I guess.
Not quite top 5.
Not
Keep
quite.
trying.
Not quite funniest yet. Maybe next year, kid.
All right, so the recap. My number 1 pick, the Donald Trump mugshot.
Fire pick.
My number 2 pick, Lionel Messi coming to the MLS. Number 3 pick, the submarine incident / meme. Number 4 pick, the rise of ChatGPT AI. And number 5, Jayden Daniels, Heisman winner.
And I have as my number 1 pick, The Sphere in Las Vegas. Number 2, Taylor Swift. Number 3, aliens subject to Mexican Congress. Number 4, overall comedy, or just comedy. And number 5, thinking about the Roman Empire.